Hey, I queen in next oh hey 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 we go hey we go nini hey we go hey we go nini hey I queen nini next oh hey oh hey we go oh hey we go nini hey hey we go hey we go nini oh hey rock loud. Thank you. Mari la mienne, Mari Kompuche. Hello and welcome everybody to the Equator Prize 2019 Awards Ceremony. My name is Oona Chaplin and I'm very, very honored to be your hostess tonight. Thank you. First of all, I would like to thank the great mystery that brought us all here safely tonight. I would like to honor the fact that we are on Ramapo Lenape land, and I would like to ask the guardians of all directions to come and show their support here as we celebrate nature and the stewards of nature tonight. I would like to thank the town hall as well for opening up the space for us, and a really, really special thanks to all of our winners who have come so far to be with us here tonight. They've left their lands and their families and their homes, and they've traveled all this way to share their story and their work with us. And finally, I'd like to thank all of you guys here for your presence and your willingness to dream with us and to stand together for a brighter future, right? A future of abundance, a future of beauty, a future of harmony, a future of connection with nature as well. Because I really believe that's what we all stand for. Now, a little bit of context. So for the last 2 years, I have been working with James Cameron and a bunch of other geniuses on Avatar, the sequels. And it's, yeah, I mean, come on. It's such a dream come true for me. I mean, Avatar 1 is still one of my favorite films. And it was also the highest grossing film for 10 years, from 2009 to 2019. And it made me think, like, what is it about Avatar? What was it about Avatar 1? So I thought about the story. And the story goes like this, right? There's a technocratic, warmongering society that goes off to a distant moon that is beautiful and pristine and wants to extract its natural resources for power and for money, right? And then the blue, beautiful people of this land, they rise up to defend their home, to defend their mother, right? And they live beautifully and naturally, and we all kind of want to be blue. And then the end of the film is that the blue people win, and they kick the invaders out, and right? And everybody in the cinema cheers, just like you're doing now, and everybody feels very victorious. And I actually think that the heart of it, that the real heart of it, is the fact that it's the way that the Na'vi connect to nature, right? The amount of love with which they belong to this natural family, to this goddess, to Ewa, the way they love each other as well, the way they connect with one another and all living things. And so weirdly, at the same time, or rather for the past 7 years, I've been working and studying with indigenous communities, particularly from the Amazon and from the world over, though. And I'm also part indigenous myself. On my father's side, my ancestry is Mapuche. This is why I greeted you, Mari Mari. This is the greeting in Mapusungun. And after working with 40 indigenous elders from all different, over 40 actually, from all different parts of the world, they all say Avatar was about us. Avatar is our story. So, when I think about the fact that so many millions of people around the world responded to the story of Avatar, and I think the reason they responded is because everybody, we all have this intrinsic memory, right? We all remember that connection, and we all long for it, and we all crave it. And then I hear these wonderful people saying, this is our story, and I'm like, this is the thing we have on this planet, and in this room tonight, we have people that connect with nature in this way, that can teach us to remember how to love our land, how to love our creatures, how to love our relatives as well. And thing is, their voices are so often ignored, and they're so often unheard, and they don't get the space, and they don't get a say so often. And tonight we have the privilege to hear them, to hear their story. And I just want to put out this call right now to get our audience here tonight to really, you guys, listen from the heart, listen from a different place, because we've forgotten how to listen in this way. And we get this really wonderful honor tonight to see this work and to hear this story. So please, let's start by giving them a really warm welcome. Now, yes, so right now, look, this wonderful man has come. This is I'm going to say his title right, the UNDP administrator, Mr. Achim Steiner, is here to extend this welcome tonight. Thank you, Achim.
Thank you very much. I nearly came on stage and I thought, no, this is applause. There must be somebody else coming on stage. But it's great to be here, and thank you all for being here this evening. 2019, the Equator Prize, the best moment of the year for those of us who believe that people are inventing solutions to what needs to happen next every day across the planet. And for many years, we've had a partnership around the Equator Prize Awards that essentially searches the planet far and wide for people who are doing amazing things, often just with an idea, then with friends of theirs, sometimes with their communities and with partners. And they speak to everything that this week we wanted to also put at the center of this Equator Prize Award. On Monday, the Secretary General had invited the world to come to New York to a climate action summit. And the theme of this year's Equator Prize Awards is, in fact, climate change, nature-based solutions. We are very proud that we will share with you this evening, once again, 22 extraordinary stories, 22 extraordinary solutions, and 22 reasons to be hopeful. Because, friends, when we have the opportunity to have such an award ceremony, we not only are picking out 22 people from maybe 22 million people who are doing things like this, we also want everybody to walk out of here and not feel that it's hopeless. On the contrary, so many more people are doing so many more extraordinary things, and sometimes it just bears to take a moment to celebrate. Now, this evening, we have not only the prize winners here, we also have many friends who will be part of announcing them, but we also have a sort of preponderance of Game of Thrones presence. So you will be pleasantly surprised, as you already have been with Oona just now, and with another wonderful cast member, unfortunately both of them slain in Game of Thrones. So this is the next episode, and I can only wish them well, because if they do well tonight, then the Emmy Awards are waiting for them. So in that spirit, just to say, it's great to be here with you. I have the privilege right now of leading the United Nations Development Programme, but I've been on this stage here in years past as a guest and a partner also when I worked with UNDP, the United Nations Environment Programme. This is also a tribute to a partnership that involves many, and tonight it is simply my pleasure and my honor to welcome you here, to ask you to celebrate, to walk out of here this evening with a sense that, you know, extraordinary things are possible, sometimes against all odds. Let me just briefly thank particularly Germany and Norway, who have been our partners in enabling us to, every year, make not only the event happen. The event is just a few hours. There is months of work, months of searching, and again, close to 1,000 nominations were received in just under 3 weeks, I think, this year, in 127 countries. Now, if you needed to be encouraged about what is happening out there, this is just a small statistic that should give you a sense of what is going on. To Germany and Norway, but also to Conservation International, the Nature Conservancy, Columbia University, One Earth, and Estée Lauder, our latest partner to join us this year. A big thank you for enabling us to bring not only you here together in New York during this extraordinary week that we call the UN General Assembly Week in the United Nations, where the whole world comes together despite all the differences that define our being together on this planet. And you just heard very clearly about them this morning again. But also to say to you, together, we are actually making progress. And in that spirit and in that sense, it is also my great pleasure now to introduce a very dear colleague and friend of mine who has just moved to Nairobi and has become the Executive Director of the United Nations Environment Programme, a remarkable person with a remarkable story and going to do remarkable things leading the United Nations Environment Programme. Please welcome the Executive Director, Inga Anderson. Thank you and have a wonderful evening.
Well, let me first thank my friend Akim for allowing me to come this evening to this amazing event. I have to say it's not the first time that I come to the Equator Prize, and each time I am amazed at the stories we hear, at the commitment, at the change that we are told about by individuals and communities who've stepped up to make a difference. And as Akim mentioned, this year, the emphasis is on climate change and nature-based solutions. And nature, our air, our food, our water, our land, our oceans, our trees, each of these are sacred. And we will hear about this tonight. We will hear about what people are doing to protect nature, and we will celebrate what they do. Nature-based solutions is something that has come into the fore of late. We need to invest in nature, in nature's infrastructure. When I say invest, I mean protect. Those seagrasses, those coral reefs, those sand dunes, those forests, those lakes, the mangroves. Each of these provide us with plenty. They provide us with our food, they provide us with our sustenance, and they provide us with protection at times when the storms come or when the waters rise. So therefore, nature-based solutions is part of a broader tapestry of solutions that we need to understand for climate, for desertification, and for the Biological Diversity Convention. Each of these matter and matter greatly. And if we have learned anything from the last year or so of intense heat, intense storms, intense fires, intense drought, it is that nature can protect us. But if we do not take care of nature, nature will send us invoices. Those invoices will come in the forms of fires and storms and threats to us. So let's not have that happen. Let's hear from the evening's prize winners what they are doing, celebrating nature, protecting nature, being sure to take action to make a difference. Because this evening is about nature, it's about sustainability, and it's about our future. Thank you.
Yes, okay. So people often think of scientists as people in labs wearing funny coats that turn stuff into numbers, right? But indigenous people have a profound scientific knowledge of the natural systems and the systems of all nature, right? They have this wisdom that is based on direct experience and on relationship. And it's science. And their practices, oh yeah, and it's built on thousands of years of trial and error. That's important, because so often, you know, they're seen as kind of backwards, but they're not. They're living right now, and they have as many thousands of years of trial and error as we do. They just have a different way of going about things. So their practices not only protect the earth, but they help life thrive, which is why 82% of all biodiversity is on indigenous land right now. So to celebrate our winners' commitment to caring for nature and mitigating the changes in our climate, I call to the stage Dr. Jill Blockhuis from the Nature Conservancy. Oh, no. Okay, first, sorry guys. Thank you, I'm new at this. Firstly, we would like to see this video to know a little bit more about the winners and their work.
We are facing a planetary emergency. Climate change is the single most important challenge humanity has ever faced.
But nature, essential for solving this challenge, is in crisis.
Nearly 2 football fields of tropical forest are lost every minute, and more than 1 million species face extinction by mid-century.
We are at risk of losing both battles, on climate change and on biodiversity loss.
Nature can be our biggest ally in solving our climate crisis.
By protecting and restoring carbon-rich ecosystems like forests, peatlands, and mangroves, and by practicing sustainable agriculture and agroforestry, we can achieve nearly 40% of our climate mitigation targets.
Indigenous peoples and local communities around the world are at the forefront of advancing nature-based solutions for our planet.
Las amenazas o las presiones que tiene la reserva son básicamente el tema de la minería, la tala ilegal.
Falta mucho, ¿no? Como te digo, falta mucho. La minería destroza bastante el monte y deja totalmente deforestado y eso impacta bastante. La congestión lo que hace es conservar, trabajan en conjunto los vigilantes con los guardaparques para que hagan más fuerza, ¿no?, en tema de intervención.
Aló, aló. Mirador, mirador.
Creo que hemos sido siempre una piedra en el zapato para el Estado. Y ahora con la cogestión ya es un poco cambia ya la idea del Arango. Dice, no, hay que cuidar porque esto vale.
Hemos ido brindando un fondo semilla de hasta $10,000 para que las comunidades puedan desarrollar diversos emprendimientos. Lo que queremos es reemplazar algunas actividades económicas sostenibles por actividades extractivas, ¿no? Entonces, eso ha hecho de que la reserva muestre hasta ahora el 98,4% de estado de conservación.
Se pueda seguir manteniendo el diálogo y la gestión con el Estado para que estos bosques, estas bondades de la madre tierra puedan seguir disfrutando nuestros hijos, nuestros nietos y las generaciones futuras.
Todos necesitamos aire, todos necesitamos que tengamos agua. Nosotros como pueblo indígena manejamos nuestro territorio y nuestro territorio sirva para todos los países.
Todo el esfuerzo que nosotros estamos haciendo viene desde la base de las comunidades. Nosotros lo que estamos trayendo es el esfuerzo, la asistencia técnica de cómo podemos hacer mejores las cosas.
Con las comunidades nos hemos entendido explicándonos por qué hay que trabajar aves, por qué hay que trabajar cacao, por qué hay que trabajar peces y por qué hay que trabajar xiringa, caucho. Estas 4 actividades es nuestro programa de actividades económicas sostenibles.
Poder trabajar en conjunto permite a que nosotros también podamos cumplir nuestros objetivos de conservar toda esta muestra de la biodiversidad que se tiene acá en Perú. Y la otra es que podamos contribuir, digamos, al mejoramiento de calidad de vida de la población local.
Para nosotros es importante tener alianzas estratégicas. Es tener nuestra gente, nuestro amigo, nuestros hermanos, los técnicos, especialistas, para poder hacer trabajo para bien y desarrollo del pueblo indígena Awajuno Ampis.
O povo bijagote tem vivido nestas ilhas desde o começo dos tempos, desde que nos lembramos. Na sua visão, os deuses fizeram um mundo perfeito e é nossa responsabilidade cuidar dele.
Estrangeiros invadem no mar e nem na mato nem na mar.
As Ilhas Bijagós é ainda dos mais bem preservados ecossistemas no mundo. É um lugar onde todos os elementos da natureza é também uma das mais poderosas formas de captação do carbono. Mas também estava muito ameaçada porque não havia a pesca que se fazia em qualquer parte do rio indiscriminadamente.
Que aqui criação de área marinha protegida e capaz de que como falou e para bem não já como não riqueza na caba. Lá que não riqueza está nela e também lá que não fonte de tudo coisa. Se bem caba e porque tudo coisa na caba. Quem faz mal na mala tem que banhar. A nós não fala com mar, ninguém cala faz mal na mala. Quem faz mal na mala tem que banhar. Quem mata pitbull tem que banhar. Quem mata pitbull tem que banhar.
Teman kami, tanah adat, hutan adat, tu tadi, dia makan. Budaya dia, seni dia, bekas buah, bekas air, pokok ya, bekas tanah, bekas kayu, semua bisa makan.
Masalah yang dihadapi Sungai Utik pada saat ini yaitu belum adanya pengakuan dari pemerintah untuk legalitas wilayah adat Sungai Utik.
Lawan kami untuk ketan ke menua, kami nak orang nebang kayu di Galugiang. Dan orang puluh kiri di Galugiang semua, kami dituk nak. Nebang kayu ni kita untuk derimpu pembangunan derimpu ngadai dijual.
Saya bawa anak-anak pergi ke hutan dan kemudian mengenalkan hutan ini tidak boleh kita rusak, kita harus jaga.
Menua tu dah jadi milik orang semua itu. Ngambil orang semua dalam dunia tu nemu. Abak ya buku di undang-undang surat.
Anteriormente nosotros no teníamos la posibilidad o la fuerza de enfrentar ese tipo de problemas que presentan dentro de nuestro territorio. Tenemos personas, taladores ilegales, personas foráneas, cocaleros. Había ingresado dentro de la comunidad. Ahora, hoy en día tenemos cero deforestación, ya no ingresan los cocaleros porque hemos combatido las dos comunidades.
Para nosotros es una experiencia exitosa. Siempre la comunidad considera las imágenes satelitales. La mapa de sistema de alerta tempranos nos enseña en qué parte se está ocurriendo la deforestación. Que nosotros utilizamos el vuelo de dron para poder visualizar y tomar fotos. ¿Para qué? Para poder presentar denuncia ante las autoridades competentes de nuestra región de Ucayali.
El apoyo también de parte del Estado, ¿no? Y así hemos podido lograr nuestro objetivo de recuperar nuestros bosques.
Cuidamos el territorio, ¿no? Más que todo salvaguardar la biodiversidad que nosotros contamos.
Protecting and restoring forests and other ecosystems locks carbon in the ground and is one of our most powerful nature-based solutions.
But people in rural areas also need to make a living.
More than 1 billion people depend on forests, and more than 2 billion people depend on agriculture for their livelihoods.
It is essential we find ways to sustainably manage forests and other ecosystems to sequester carbon without compromising the ability of this system to sustain livelihoods for local communities.
Mudança nossa para cá, fica menos preocupado com as plantios de agrotóxico da lavoura. E agora aqui fica mais animado, deixando as crianças soltas para brincar com a terra. Solta, você fica muito contente de olhar as crianças assim. piqui é uma fruta que é muito boa. Ela protege aonde está desmatado. Por isso que é importante para a gente florestar esse desmatamento que alguns parentes pegou, alguns da fazenda, território de volta, né? E com o tempo a gente recebeu também com esses projetos, deu resultado muito bom para nós, que a gente veio trabalhar com óleo de piqui. Esse clima que está mudando, coisa aí que a gente ficou preocupado, que antigamente não acontecia, agora está acontecendo. Por isso que é importante fazer esse projeto, ver se a gente consegue continuar vivendo com essa natureza.
We are trying to look at the major problems that we saw, and that was poverty, unemployment, gender inequality. Also ignorance of the opportunities that were existing. How do we blend the problems that we are facing in the forest, which is a resource, the poverty which exists, and the unemployment?
We came up with the idea of bee farming because we saw that bee farming will get the whole community involved, as they will keep their hives in the forest. And with the hives in the forest, they will harvest honey. Honey equals money. The community saw that it is important to conserve the forest. We have planted about 75,000 trees as of 2018.
مشکلات دا او تعلیم زموږ ونه موږ مطلب غربانو د غربت له وجې ځکه موږ دا درخت یې کاټولې مخکې د ځنغوزیو قیمت نه و کوم ځنغوزي چې دی د هغو قیمت نه و موږ دا درخت د لرګي قیمت زیاته باله درخت به موږ کاټوله دا فرق دی چې هغه به هم مطلب زموږ د کور ګزاره کېدله چې درخت به م کاټوله او هغه فصل چې کوم دی یا زیاته پیسې جوړوي ته بله فصله پورې چې موږ هغه پیسې بس کېږي او بارانونه هم کېږي
Nutshell of the project is that the community is now realizing the ecological importance of Chalkoza forest. They are aware about the economic environmental benefit of the forest, and now they are contributing in conservation of Chalkoza forest. That is the most important thing.
مطلب هوا ډېر مطلب دا یخه ده مطلب دا او اوبه هم په چینو کې پیدا شوې دي
Nature-based solutions help us respond to climate change while addressing our biodiversity crisis and securing the livelihoods of billions of people.
Please join our movement to ensure that nature-based solutions become the frontline defense in the fight to mitigate climate change.
Without nature, we cannot solve our climate crisis.
So tonight, we have 4 winners from Peruvian territories. And our next speaker has been fundamental in spearheading government initiatives to collaborate with indigenous communities. So I'd really like to give a warm welcome to the stage, Peruvian Minister of the Environment, Dr. Lucía Delfina Ruiz Ostoic.
Hola. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for being here. It's a week of emotion. For me, it's a very emotional week. I was here seeing all this initiative this time. I want this to be a word that convey the gratitude and admiration that this initiative gave us, who today have the responsibility of being authorities, public servants, above all. I want this to be a word that inspire us not only to recognize these initiatives, but to do everything possible from the point in which we are to scale them up. So these successful lessons can be replicated and just help to better and better protect our forests, our ecosystems, our biodiversity. I know some of the initiatives that were awarded in previous year, and I have seen the level of conviction with which this conservation initiative for the forests are implemented. Because they are their forest, their home. I'm glad to tell you today that those initiatives that were awarded here years ago still persist, are still in the struggle. And perhaps it could suggest that the key to their persistence is that they were conceived from the local communities themselves. They were no initiative imposed from outside. And perhaps the other key is the understanding that what is vital for this community. Their pharmacies, where they get their medicinal plants, their markets, where they get their fruit and food, their stores, where they get the material for their homes. That is their life and the life of their children. Because in the experience with the community, the reason that move them are not the reason that usually move us. We that live in cities, maybe success, work, something like that. The reason that move, there are much deeper. Their children, their future. And therefore it was, if we look deep inside of us, we can understand that. We can understand each other there is a room to always be optimistic. Then I would say that the challenge to which this award should lead us is how to scale up these initiatives, how to support them more. What can we do so that these sustainability products, goods, such as coffee, cocoa, no timber products, or material, medicinal plant, tourism initiative can improve the quality of life of more communities? What can the state do? What can we do as consumers? What can we do as communicators, as opinion leaders? How can we take advantage of the position in which we are today to further boost this initiative? Not with the words, but of course great, but with action that guarantee their environmental and social and economic sustainability. What can researchers, entrepreneurs, students do? And how do we ensure that non-productive initiatives such as defense of rights, water, territories, ecosystems, restoration actions, action in favor of gender equality, etc., have sustainability in time? Certainly, there are no unique answers. And they're not going to come from isolated self. But we have to build them together. And that is important of this event. It's not only the recognition of those who deserve it, but also an opportunity to build networks what is now called networking capital. How do we enhance this? How do we not let it be in a anecdote or a few minutes, a few days dialogue, but rather we make it more systematic? How do we all become a network that allow us to sustain this initiative and articulate them so they can access more opportunity, more research, support, more markets with greater environmental awareness? How, in short, do we take this globalization seriously and for good? I hope that these challenges that I'm now putting on myself and ourselves are received as an opportunity to jump to the next level, a room for improvement, and to take the maximum advantage to this unique opportunity. The Equatorial Initiative gives us by joining leaders and innovators from all over the world with authorities who must be leaders too. And we will be leaders only if our permanent attitude is a learning vocation. And we will to learn from these innovative and remarkable initiatives. So when we will be back to our daily work as entrepreneurs, consumers, public servants, researchers, or simple citizens, we will at least start generating and boosting the required changes through the public policies we push, or our commercial strategies, our research priorities, or our lifestyles. For this opportunity, thanks to all, to UNDP for keeping for many years these initiatives, to the local community that honor us, sharing their experience, to all of us by committing publicly to be better citizens of our planet every day. Thank to you for this opportunity to me. Thank you.
So to celebrate our winners' commitment to caring for nature and mitigating the changes in our climate, I call to the stage Dr. Jill Blockhus from the Nature Conservancy and Kristen Walker from Conservation International. And I also have the great pleasure of welcoming to the stage UNDP Goodwill Ambassador and my friend and colleague. And on top of that, I believe he has brought with him both of his hands here tonight, Nikolaj Coster-Waldau. So the winners in mitigation from Peru, Managing Organization of the Administrative Contract for the Amacaeri Communal Reserve. Also from Peru, Managing Organization of the Administrative Contract for Tuntanain. From Guinea-Bissau, Management Council of the Yurok Islands Locally Managed Marine Area. From Indonesia, Customary Community of the Dayak Iban in Sungai Utik, Longhouse. From Peru, Native Communities of Nuevo Saposoa and Patria Nueva de Mediación Calleria. From Brazil, the Kiseje Indigenous Association. From Cameroon, Cameroon Gender and Environment Watch. And from Pakistan, Kazagar Cluster Community-Based Organization. Now, a little something about tonight. So each section has designated a speaker to represent them and speak on behalf of everybody tonight. So thank you so much for listening.
Thank you so much. My name is Savedam Ernestine. In the countries where we come from, we grew up thinking of land as the mother, forest as the father, and water as our blood. Nature is the source of our livelihoods. As climate leaders, we do our best to protect it because it is an integral part of our culture, of who we are. In our effort to preserve nature, we have all suffered great losses. We have seen the sun change, crops disappear, fish die, streams dry out, and the Amazon on fire. These changes keep us awake at night. Everyone on this stage today shares a deep respect for and lives in harmony with nature. I am honored to speak on behalf of this group today and proud of what we have all accomplished. Not only do we share a deep connection with nature, but we all work tirelessly to keep our ancestral knowledge alive. Together in the mitigation group, we have planted over 220,000 trees and conserved more than 1 million hectares of land. We have brought together thousands of indigenous people and local communities and trained them to sustainably manage their forests, conserve their indigenous crops, and lead their own businesses in a way that does not harm the environment. Together, we have made great progress in restoring our carbon-rich ecosystems. We have a long tradition to work together to preserve nature. We call on you, as the world's leaders, as local and international NGOs, as concerned citizens, to help us to scale up our efforts and magnify our impact. We are teaching our children about the devastating consequences of clearing forests and mangroves and unsustainable agriculture. We invite you to do the same, to educate your children so that together we can raise a forest generation. We are teaching our communities what it means to love nature and treat it with care. We ask you to work with us to inspire political will for powerful change so that we can create a culture that puts nature above material wealth. We are working hard to preserve the priceless gifts from the land that we live on, even though we are often not recognized as its rightful owners. We urge you to join us in sparking a powerful advocacy movement so that we can gain the freedom to govern our land, scale up our impact, and proudly celebrate our culture on our land. You will not be doing this only for us. You will be doing it for the survival of future generations. My new Equator Prize friends shared with me their native legend, the one where they were saved by the miracle tree of life, Wanami. Today, we need a similar miracle to reverse the damage caused by deforestation, illegal logging, extractive economy, exploitation of resources without regard for future generations, and uncontrolled mining activities. However, we cannot afford to, and we will not wait for a miracle. Today, we encourage you to look at nature the way we do. Land as the mother, forest as the father, and water as our blood. The tree of life protected us once, and now it is our turn to protect it. Thank you.
That was amazing. I think it's my turn to speak now. My name is Nikolaj Coster-Waldau. I'm an actor, and I'm a Goodwill ambassador for the UNDP. I'm from Denmark, in Scandinavia. And I have traced my ancestors as far back as we can, 1100s. I've also even done the DNA thing. I'm 86% Scandinavian and 14% Northern European. I'm inbred. I guess I am a native indigenous Scandinavian. I am in a country that is incredibly wealthy. I enjoy freedom, personal freedom. We have the oldest democracy. We have the oldest flag in the world. We're very proud of that. We love to use our flag all the time, you know, because that's our identity. I was just in Peru with the UNDP. We wanted to understand this thing about the Amazon on fire, and as you can imagine, it's a complex thing. I'm not gonna pretend that I understand all the reasons. But at one point we went to a village in oh, it's because I thought it was the Hare Krishna thing going on. We came to this village, and which would have been nice. I mean, it's all in the spirit, right? And we met these wonderful people, indigenous people, who welcomed us, and they had a very clear understanding of what we're all facing, the climate change, the consequences. I asked them why they burned the forest, some some of them did, and they said, well, we have to. That's the only way we can survive. We have to grow the land, and this is how we do it. I also met programs that were helping to find sustainable ways of doing that. But what I found at the core of this is inequality on a global scale. And we have to solve this global inequality to solve climate change. These things are linked together. And for me to enjoy this enormous freedom I have, I'm very lucky. I live in a country, I love my country. But for me to really enjoy my freedom, my fellow man, my brother, my sisters have to be free too. And I think that's at the core of why we're here, why we're also so excited when we meet these people with this passion. We want to support, and we have to support each other. And I want to thank you all for coming tonight. And on to the next thing now. Thank you so much.
Our next speaker has long supported the Equator Prize and is so passionate about indigenous rights and the preservation of nature. And I would like to call to the stage Parliamentary State Secretary at the Federal Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development of Germany, Dr. Maria Flachsbach.
So, ladies and gentlemen, prize winners, thank you so much having me here tonight with this very inspiring and really wonderful event. And as I'm a German, I will start my little speech with the famous German universal scholar. It was Alexander von Humboldt. He was born exactly 250 years ago, and he warned us back in those days that humans have a significance in nature and therefore they have responsibilities. The 2030 Agenda is a common manifest for our global responsibility. And however, its goals, and with them the future of us all, will be in jeopardy unless we succeed in preserving the shared natural resources upon which our survival depends. And the loss of nature habitats and biodiversity is speeding up. Protecting that web of life is thus becoming a matter of survival and a task that all of us must carry out. Roughly 25% of all the land in the world is in the hands of local and indigenous communities. They are preserving an astonishing 80% of all global biodiversity, using the land sustainably with a respect for nature and applying knowledge that is hundreds of years old. Today, we are here to honor that work. The challenges that we need to overcome together are enormous, which is why Germany is putting a particular emphasis on three aspects. It's first, more funding. My ministry is one of the biggest donors in the area of nature conservation. And second, it's conserving and protecting nature. We are investing in funding for the fair and effective management of protected areas in 54 countries. And most important of all, it's third, improving of the legal basis, because 3/4 of the land in the hands of indigenous and local communities is not secured by any kind of legal title. But people who are working to preserve the natural resources needed for our common survival must have a say in decisions about their land. They should not be pushed out. And Humboldt said, everything is interconnected, a statement that makes him, 250 years ago, the first modern ecologist. And so I say to the prize winners today, you are courageous. Actions are of global importance. You have, for all you are doing, my deepest gratitude and respect. Thank you very much.
So everything is always changing, right? There's a group of people that I work with, an original peoples called the Hunikuin from Acre, Brazil. And they have a very beautiful song that I love that's called Escawata Kayawe. And Escawata Kayawe means transformation. And so we sing to transformation. And the thing is, if everything is always changing, and the way that we can look at the world right now, we see, we look around and we look into our future and we see it's scary, right? It's pretty terrifying, the things that we're seeing. And I think we have to sort of face the fact that it's going to get more and more uncomfortable for more and more people. But if we're singing to transformation, then what does this mean? How can we affect these changes in a positive way? How can we become, the writers of our own destiny and the singers of our own songs? So our winners tonight in adaptation teach us that it's not about minimizing our impact, but about changing the nature of our impact, right? Leaving a beautiful trace. And these communities have been outstanding in their problem solving and adaptation. So let's take a look at them.
Climate change is wreaking havoc on our planet.
More frequent and more intense natural disasters are becoming the new norm all over the world.
The world's food and water supplies are becoming unpredictable, and the security of hundreds of millions of people is compromised.
Indigenous peoples and local communities around the world are at the front line of finding sustainable solutions for adapting to the impacts of climate change.
By implementing nature-based solutions, they are safeguarding our food and water supplies, creating buffers from natural disasters, and protecting agricultural, fishing, and forestry livelihoods.
De aquí a unos 20 o 30 años atrás, vimos de que el páramo estaba quedando obsoleto. Tuvimos que socializar, trabajar con nuestra gente para poder bajar la carga animal y cuidar el ecosistema páramo. Nosotros hemos cuidado el páramo, pero a cambio de...
Para lograr conservar este ecosistema, primero tenemos que generar alternativas productivas para esta gente que sacrifica su derecho al desarrollo para conservar ese ecosistema que a la final termina beneficiando a quienes están cuenca abajo.
Hemos mejorado la cuestión de los pastos, hemos mejorado la parte genética del animal. También ya tenemos un mercado justo, tenemos las semillas certificadas y con eso el productor gana.
No obligamos a la gente a que reserve ni que conserve. Lo que se hace es que llegar a la conciencia de la comunidad y es en cambio la comunidad en sí que tiene la necesidad de conservar.
Es un tema de compromiso de la gente con el páramo y también de las empresas y las ciudades con la gente que está haciendo ese gran trabajo medioambiental.
Yo quiero asegurar el futuro de mi familia, porque sin el medio ambiente, sin la Pachamama en su conservación y sin el agua no hay vida.
année à l'autre, l'envergure, l'ampleur des inondations change à cause des changements qu'on peut observer au niveau de la pluviométrie. Pendant ces crues, on peut monter jusqu'à des niveaux très élevés et parfois donc inattendus, et ça crée beaucoup donc de dommages, que ce soit pour les hommes, pour les animaux. Ça amène toute une communauté à déménager momentanément. Il est important de réserver des espaces qui vont recevoir les eaux, parce qu'il va pleuvoir et ces eaux vont ruisseler. Le ruissellement de ces eaux peut être freiné par le reboisement. Le reboisement sur les abords donc des bassins versants, des vallées qui vont recevoir les eaux de pluie ou les eaux des rivières. Donc il est important de veiller à ce que ces marécages soient maintenus. La vision de Crédit ONG, c'est pour un monde plus vert et bleu. Un monde où l'homme vit en harmonie avec la nature.
In the past, we understand that we've been damaging our environment. Tamil Resources Conservation Trust started way back in 2011 when we brought in a lot of people to help us to tackle our climate change efforts.
If we succeed all the projects that we've been working for, when we come here we have enough to consume. We maintain our own resources and teach it to our children and then live in a better environment, clean environment.
One of the major contributors to the climate change is agriculture.
అయితే ఇప్పుడు కలిపి రకాల పంటలు వేసినామనుకో సామంటే చిన్న ఏరే దిగుతుంది అది బేగి వస్తుంది. ఇప్పుడు జొన్ననేమో బలం తీసుకుంటుంది, తొగరేమో బలం ఇస్తుంది, మళ్ళా అనుము విన బాగా ఆకు రాలుతుంది, దాని బలం వినిస్తుంది, దానికి విన దాని ఏళ్ళు విన బలం ఉంటాయి.
They completely grow their crops on the rainwater. It's a completely greenhouse gas free agriculture, and most of all it is the most nutritious food that it produces. The more we understand the people's agriculture, the more we are convinced that this is one of the first solutions that they have for climate change.
Nature-based solutions help us adapt to the impact of climate change while also locking carbon in the ground and limiting greenhouse gases.
With their diverse knowledge and traditional practices, indigenous peoples and local communities can help the world accelerate nature-based solutions for adapting to climate change.
Nossos maiores desafios é as ameaças dos nossos direitos, né? Mas a gente cada vez mais estamos mostrando que o nosso território, apesar de todas as ameaças também que está passando, um olhar para a mineração, um olhar para a hidrelétrica, um olhar para o arrendamento de terra que sempre é visto, e a gente está mostrando que a gente não precisa, né, de todo esse grande desenvolvimento. A gente precisa buscar um desenvolvimento que seja pensar de que a gente está buscando a vida.
A gente decidiu focar nas sementes porque nas comunidades há perca de sementes regionais. De a gente juntar e fazer essa experiência de trocas, regiões, comunidades e até outros estados, é valorizar a nossa semente tradicional.
Com toda essa nossa vivência, com toda essa nossa vida, a cada vez que a gente vai conhecer, visitar o nosso território, ver de perto os projetos, a gente sente que a gente precisa sim, de fato, estar sempre junto, sempre unido, pensando sempre nessa linha de que a gente precisa preservar o nosso meio ambiente, porque as mudanças do clima estão chegando cada vez mais.
Fishing plays a big role in my life. It's a way that connects me to the ocean, to the land, to my ancestors. It's not just food that nourishes my body, but nourishes my soul.
Pretty much been doing this my whole life. You know, this is my lifestyle. I was born this way. Can I help it?
One of the big mission as far as what Comac has been involved in and what I have been involved in and others in the community is to help create some sort of regulation to protect our resources. We try to share with others. It's, just take what you need. There's always going to be enough for another day.
For the people that don't understand, I want them to learn about the resources that we depend on. And today, it's not at the same level as it should be, and that is what I want the community to learn. I don't think people realize how fragile things are. I tend to stick to my root, which is traditional practice. I don't need computers to do magic for me. My computer is nature. I can walk out my door and I can read what is happening today. And that's the beauty about traditional practice.
The Mahalo song is to give thanks to the Kupunas that was here and the place.
Creating the Hui, it was really fundamentally to restore the relationship of our community to this very special place and to create a vehicle to perpetuate our traditional cultural practices.
Anything that happens to a place that
nobody is there to have responsibility over taking care of, happened here.
What the state gave us was an opportunity, and we took that opportunity and we turned it into what you see today.
Tending the garden, it's not all about harvesting. You have to give back.
And it's not just practicing the culture, but actually living it, breathing it, and put life into it.
The practice of Hanai'a is a reminder of how we need to feed a place and take care of a place in order to get fed from it.
And we can't change the world, I don't think, but I think that the best thing we can do is to try to set the best example we can with the way we live our lives.
Indigenous peoples and rural communities are leading the way in working with nature to adapt to climate change.
We need to scale up global efforts to protect and restore nature to help us adapt to the impacts of climate change.
Recognizing indigenous peoples' land rights and their traditional knowledge is an essential step in tackling a planetary emergency.
We cannot adapt to climate change without nature, land rights, and local knowledge.
And here, to present them with their prizes, are Jenny Springer from the International Union for the Conservation of Nature and Dr. Dennis Jacobs from Fordham University. Our winners from Ecuador, Fund for the Páramos of Tungurahua and the Fight Against Poverty. From Benin, Regional Research and Education Center for Integrated Development. From the Federated States of Micronesia, Tamil Resources Conservation Trust. From India, the Deccan Development Society. From Brazil, Indigenous Council of Roraima. From Hawaii, Hui Malama Omomi. Also from Hawaii, Hui maka ainana o makana.
Ajituta, mi nombre es Rosa Elena Jerez Mazaquiza y soy de Ecuador. Represento al Fondo de Páramos Tungurahua y lucha contra la pobreza. Esta noche no solo represento a mi comunidad, no solo soy la voz de una comunidad, es la voz de nuestra Pachamama, nuestra Madre Tierra. Porque sí, el planeta nos está hablando cada vez más con mayor frecuencia e intensidad, y aún así no prestamos atención. Tenemos que reconocer que los efectos del cambio climático, a menudo desastrosos, ya están aquí. Afectan nuestras vidas, sus vidas, las vidas de las generaciones futuras. Sin embargo, quiero transmitir un mensaje de esperanza. No todo está perdido. Podemos unir fuerzas y reconocer nuestra capacidad de ser resilientes y responder a las consecuencias del cambio climático. Nuestras comunidades son la solución. En Hawái recurrimos a nuestro conocimiento ancestral con Ojiki y los sistemas de gestión. Desde la montaña hasta el arrecife, para conectar y administrar de manera sostenible nuestras cuencas hidrográficas y de las pesquerías para la seguridad alimentaria. En la India cultivamos 80 variedades de plantas alimenticias, incluyendo nuestro mijo de alta nutrición, que se cultiva de manera ecológica y sin sistema de regadío. En Benjín, en el Valle Sitatunga, nuestra cultura única, respetuosa y entrelazada a la naturaleza nos permite gestionar de manera sostenible 70,000 hectáreas de humedales. En cada una de nuestras comunidades podemos contar con una historia de resiliencia frente al cambio. En total, enseñamos el valor de la naturaleza a más de 8,800 niños y jóvenes. Aseguramos los medios de vida de más de 611,000 personas y protegemos, conservamos y restauramos más del 1.7 millones de hectáreas de tierra. Adaptar nuestra respuesta en un entorno cambiante no es algo nuevo. Esto es lo que hemos hecho durante siglos. Para nosotros, los pueblos indígenas y las comunidades locales, el conocimiento tradicional fortalece nuestra capacidad de resiliencia. Las prácticas utilizadas por nuestros antepasados eran y siguen siendo sostenibles. Lo que es insostenible hoy día no es el cambio climático, es el ritmo acelerado de este cambio. Y lo que necesitamos ahora es un cambio climático político. Entonces, ¿qué podemos hacer? ¿Qué pueden ustedes hacer? Podemos unirnos y beneficiarnos todos del poder del conocimiento indígena. podemos aprender de lo que han funcionado durante cientos de años y a la vez evitar repetir los errores del pasado y forjar un futuro de respeto, oportunidades y sostenibilidad. Miren lo que hemos hecho en nuestras comunidades. Ustedes tienen el poder en sus manos. Imaginen lo que pueden lograr. Si nuestras comunidades han hecho tanto, imaginen lo que pueden hacer desde su posición. Esta noche, en esta sala, todos somos diferentes y sin embargo, todos compartimos la misma urgencia para proteger la naturaleza, para poder adaptarnos al cambio climático. Las historias que escuchamos esta noche son la prueba del vínculo inquebrantable entre los humanos y la naturaleza. Debemos reconocer y responsabilizarnos de lo que está sucediendo en nuestro mundo. Tenemos soluciones poderosas que combinan conocimientos ancestrales y nuevas tecnologías. Este es un llamado de acción a cada uno de ustedes, un llamado a la gestión conjunta y a la gobernanza compartida sobre los recursos naturales. Un llamado a adoptar el conocimiento indígena y unirse a nosotros para reparar el daño que la humanidad ha causado. Un llamado a proteger y restaurar la naturaleza a perpetuidad. Comencemos ahora. Este es el momento. Yupaychani.
I would like to welcome to speak the CEO and chairperson of the Global Environment Facility, Naoko Ishii. Thank you.
Very good evening to everyone. It was 7 years ago when I became the CEO of GF, Global Environment Facility. So tonight, I just like to share with you maybe two things based on my own journey of 7 years. First, in my own view, the adaptation has finally started to capture the political imagination and is finally entering into the global stage of policy discussion. So, adaptation is not a junior sibling to mitigation anymore. You are really at the center stage of the world. This morning, at UN headquarters, we have launched a global report of Global Commission of Adaptation, which is full of good ideas how we can do adaptation much more, better, and urgently. So there is a lot of work we can do together. But second thing I want to share with you is a little bit more personal. For the last 7 years, I have had numerous opportunities and actually a privilege to meet many of you, be it slum dwellers, coastal fishermen, smallholder farmers, or forest people, or indigenous people. And I would like to say I continue to be impressed with and actually overwhelmed with your passion, your determination, your courage, and actually ability to cope with many of difficulties. You are really the inspiration, and I really would like to thank you. So when the world is now ramping up its effort to do adaptation more, faster, we really need to listen to you, because you know much better what's going on. You know much better how to handle that. So we really need you, and we need to really bring you to the center stage of decision making. That is really my commitment to you. And this is why tonight we want to celebrate the work you have done, and congratulations of the winners of Equator Prize. You have given us a lot of courage, a lot of commitment, a lot of inspiration to go forward. But tomorrow morning, we will get back to work together and join hands together to create the better future we want. Thank you so much.
I have to personally thank our next speaker for helping a community that I have loved and worked with for some time. Estée Lauder buys their urucum from the Yawanawa in Acre, I believe. And I know that this relationship has been a good one for all parties. So welcome to the stage, Senior Vice President for Global Corporate Citizenship and Sustainability at the Estée Lauder Companies, Nancy Mann.
Thank you, Oona, for that lovely introduction. I was instructed to make sure that this is below my face and not at my face level. So how does that look? Okay, am I doing great? Perfect. All right. So I am so honored to be here tonight representing the Estée Lauder Companies and our over 42,000 employees across the world to congratulate the winners and the communities who are engaged in such important, impactful work. It's a privilege to be here to celebrate you with you. I'd particularly like to add my congratulations to the Duchan Sandalwood Oils, or DSO, one of the recipients of this year's Equator's Prize, who we at Estée Lauder are proud to have partnered with for many years. At Estée Lauder, we believe that the answers to complex community issues that exist within global supply chains usually lie within the communities themselves, and that we as business must stop, listen, and learn to make the change that is truly meaningful and sustainable. Duchan Sandalwood Oils represents just that. They are a unique company, and their community collaboration and business model is an example that we as a company have and will continue to learn from. DSO was founded by members of the Kookaburra Aboriginal community and produces sandalwood oils, essential oil for global luxury perfume industry for companies like ours. The company has worked hard to promote cultural identity and support local livelihoods in the deserts of Western Australia through sustainable harvest, let's hear for Western Australia, and production, by embracing traditional knowledge, implementing sustainable harvesting practices, and helping to ensure socioeconomic independence for the Kookaburra Aboriginal community. DSO has provided an incredible, powerful, new economic model for sustainable development. At the Estée Lauder Companies, we are very proud to support and partner with visionary leaders like you and like DSO and the rest of you who we know share our values to listen and learn from community partners. We believe the most important ways for business to speak is through their business practices. As a global company, we will remain steadfast to our commitment to sustainable, long-term solutions and not a quick fix. To do the right thing takes a long time, as so many communities know, and we are in it for the long haul. Congratulations and thank you to all of this year's recipients being honored here tonight. I know I am personally looking forward to watching you change the world through your work, your creativity, and your collaboration. Thank you.
Our global economic system is at the heart of our planetary crisis.
We spend more than $5 trillion on fossil fuel subsidies every year, while funding for nature is less than 0.005% of the global GDP.
Our global food system, especially beef, palm oil and soy, is responsible for most deforestation worldwide.
Most pension funds, investment houses, sovereign wealth funds and banks make investments that drive deforestation and the loss of nature.
We need new economic instruments to finance the protection and restoration of ecosystems.
We need new sustainable commodity supply chain models to end deforestation.
We need transparency of our financial systems to ensure our investments are reversing, not accelerating climate change and biodiversity loss.
Indigenous people and local communities, together with government, financial institutions and corporations, are defining a new economy that can address the root of our planetary crisis.
The Yurok tribe has always been here on the Klamath River. We've never been relocated, we've always been here, and we will always be here. And the heart of who we are as a people is the river and our fishing culture. Even after the reservation was created, there were other federal acts passed that took more of our resources. The majority of our reservation was owned by a lumber company, and they were destroying our cultural natural resources. There was always a fight. The modern tribal government has expressed its sovereignty. One of the pillars of that effort is the Carbon Project.
We have found that we are able to protect our land, protect our resources, but also accomplish the other tenet that the Yurok Tribe Constitution put out, which is to gain our land back.
The Yurok Tribe is building the new economy for generations to come.
These new economies of working sustainably within your world and to make a living, I think that's the oldest economy there ever was.
Kwangu haki ya ardhi ina muhimu sana kwa sababu haki ya ardhi, upatikanaji ipo ndani ya ardhi.
As long as communities have control over their land and can be incentivized to protect their forest, then this model is scalable. The financial mechanism that Carbon Tanzania uses is based on avoided deforestation.
kwa hewa ya ukaa ni mkubwa sana kwangu Mwanzabe, kwa sababu zamani nilikuwa sijui kuweza kulinda pori, lakini sasa hivi mabadiliko imeleta hewa ya ukaa, tunajua kulinda pori, tunaenda doria na kuangalia uharibifu wa pori.
The most inspiring thing about the project is the community ownership of the process, from ownership of the land to payment of their own guards to the success that they've found in protecting their own land.
We're living in a world that, climate change issue impact many communities.
Serdeak family oli kama potem ting ting se imokut to sem se patei kam lo future kam.
When you conserve an area and you're working on that in the acroplot to replant all the trees, you will be very happy in the future because your native land is still there.
Through these sales of carbon, we have some community benefit. In Serdeak family, they spend the money towards the priority needs. Our vision is to mitigate against climate change through our replantation of trees and protection of the natural forest.
New economic instruments to keep forests standing are part of the solution to our planetary emergency.
But we also need new models for commodity supply chains to tackle deforestation and food loss, the source of nature-based greenhouse gas emissions.
Communities win with fair agreements and long-term benefits.
Companies win with more stable and predictable supply chains and with fewer climate and financial risks.
The planet wins with more incentives for sustainable ecosystem management.
Indigenous peoples and local communities play an essential role in defining this new economy.
We cannot bend the curve without them.
En la zona del N, la comercialización o el ingreso era por la venta de maderas. En los años 2010 se vio reflejado de que ya no había que vender. Habíamos talado muchos árboles y cuando nos damos cuenta ya no había nada atrás, no había bosque, ¿no? Pero ¿cómo paramos? ¿Cuál es la alternativa para poder generar ingresos económicos para la comunidad o para las familias? Por eso se crea esta asociación Quemito N para cultivar el cacao y el café y así generar ingresos y a no talar más bosques.
No solamente la asociación envía el grano, sino también está enviando ahora manteca y polvo. Y hacemos todos los procesos y después ya lo llevamos también al puerto de Callao para la embarcación a su destino, a Australia, que es el momento de nuestro cliente más fuerte que tenemos.
Queremos demostrar al Estado peruano y al mundo de que sí se puede, que Quemito N o que las comunidades nativas o indígenas pueden responder la demanda del mercado. Eso es lo que queremos Quemito N, reflejado esas exportaciones en la economía familiar.
ní àwọn nǹkan tá a gbìn síbẹ̀ náà ò ní dá mọ́ because bá a ṣe ń gbé ewé ẹran yẹn la tó ń gbìn kì sí àwọn ibi tí ò bá ti sí igi sí.
Seed and early leaves are no more found in degraded forest areas in this part where many farmers are doing cocoa. And found out that not many people are now using leaves to package local food. Since we started the campaign, the women have, got their confidence. Now the trade is moving on well, and we are beginning to see how we are going to encourage natural resources to be utilized instead of plastics and nylons that have taken over most of these things.
Gbogbo ènìyàn tó bá ní ìdí rẹ̀ la máa ń tà fún. Àwọn kan wà wọ́n máa ń fi ń ṣènáwó, àwọn tó fi ń ta ọjà, àwọn tó ń lò nínú ilé fúnra ara wọn, tó fi ń ṣoúnjẹ fúnra ara wọn. So gbogbo ẹni tó nífẹ̀ẹ́ sí náà la máa ń tà.
The competition with nylon is phasing out.
My father was the first person from our tribe who started up harvesting sandalwood back in 1977 when I was born. It's been part of our family for many years, all my life, I've known about sandalwood.
The reason for working with the Dutch Island custodians was we saw a very unique opportunity and something that the industry has never seen in regards to sandalwood in Australia before, is that business relationship. The wild resource out in the bush, where the indigenous cultures have really respected this tree for many thousands of years, and then being married up with the plantation industry, which has now got a renewable resource and is investment driven, so it's a perfect fit.
It's also a new economy for the local Aboriginal community at Kookaburra.
It's sad in a way. I wish my old people was here and my old man is here still with us to see the amazing journey that they started for us. This is the land that it came from, and that's why we need to keep it special as it is and look after it.
Our economic system is broken, but it can be fixed.
We need a new economy that works for people and planet.
Indigenous peoples and local communities, together with progressive corporations and governments, are leading the way in creating this new economy that recognizes the value of nature.
Please join our movement.
We cannot bend the curve on nature loss and climate change without greening our global economy.
Reciprocity. It's a big word. Say it again. Reciprocity. Can we all say it together? Reciprocity. Yes, thank you. This is a fundamental principle of indigenous cultures the world over, and it's natural law. You know, we give with one hand and we take with the other, always in balance. This is what keeps the balance. And we can become a part of this balance. Right now, we can start now. And the first step to this is that we have to begin to wrap our heads around the enormous value of that which we are receiving. Right? We need to understand that before we understand how we can give back. For their genius in finding ways to maintain balance and support their communities, we thank our winners. And to give them their prize, we have Ulrike Oxen from the Swedish International Development Corporation Agency and Dr. André Correa de Almeida from Columbia University. Our winners in New Economy, the Yurok tribe from the Klamath River. From Tanzania, the Yaida Valley Project. From Vanuatu, Sertiak. From Peru, Producers Association Quemito N. From Nigeria, Environmental Management and Development Trust. From Kenya, Solar Freeze. And from Australia, the Dadshan Sandalwood Oils.
Buenas noches con todos. Mi nombre es Felixto Cabanillas Contreras. Presento Perú. Venimos de los pueblos, venimos de los bosques de Asabe, la granja de Kenia, los cultivos agroforestales de cacao en Nigeria, la cuenca del río Ena en la Amazonía peruana, los bosques de secoya de la nación de Yoro, la isla del Pacífico de Vanuatu y los bosques de sándalo de Mundiara. Representamos al grupo de Nueva Economía, pero para nosotros, nuestras empresas no son nuevas. Hemos estado utilizando nuestros conocimientos tradicionales durante siglos para mantener nuestras comunidades y nuestra forma de vida. Queremos desarrollar una economía que respete nuestra cultura. Valoremos nuestro conocimiento tradicional y respete nuestros derechos humanos. A los inversionistas les urgimos a invertir en empresas creadas por pueblos indígenas y comunidades locales que tengan una visión a largo plazo sobre nuestro planeta y nuestra gente. Nuestra empresa demuestra que los negocios ambientales sostenibles también pueden ser rentables. Le instamos a asociar con nosotros para cambiar nuestra fortaleza, nuestros conocimientos y nuestra tecnología sostenible. A nuestros propios gobiernos les pedimos que reconozcan el valor y la oportunidad que ofrecen los pueblos indígenas y las comunidades locales. No somos una barrera para el desarrollo, somos sus gentes. El camino para el desarrollo económico se basa en el uso sostenible del capital natural. No solo somos los administradores de nuestro medio ambiente, sino también sus expertos. Y fomentamos el desarrollo ambiental y socialmente sostenible con el que ustedes se comprometieron en 2015. Estamos aquí para ayudarles a cumplir ese compromiso. A las empresas multinacionales le pedimos que reconozcan los enormes valores sociales, económicos de proteger nuestros bosques, tierras y aguas. A los países con altas emisiones le pedimos que tomen medidas inmediatas para hacer la transición a una economía de cero emisiones. Vivimos más cerca de la naturaleza y sufrimos la peor parte del cambio climático, pero también asumimos el costo de la conservación. No podemos ser solo nosotros haciendo este esfuerzo. Les pedimos que contribuyan justamente con su parte. Al mundo instamos a reconocer el valor y la sabiduría que aportamos a través de nuestro conocimiento y nuestra experiencia. No podemos ser excluidos del proceso de desarrollo porque la preservación de la naturaleza es nuestro mejor negocio. Los modelos de negocios ambientalmente insostenibles pueden y deben cambiar. Solo así alcanzaremos nuestros objetivos climáticos. Y a todos ustedes aquí esta noche, consumidores, corporaciones e inversionistas, les pedimos que se hagan responsables de este cambio para ayudar al desarrollar una economía sostenible y ecológica. Les pedimos que ayuden a compartir nuestro mensaje, que hay un camino diferente y mejorarla para las generaciones futuras. Únense a nosotros en este viaje. Muchas gracias.
And now for a few words, I would like to invite the Deputy Director General of the Norwegian Agency for Development Cooperation, Marit Brandtzæg.
Distinguished winners, congratulations. What a fantastic evening we had tonight. For me, it's an honor to participate in this award ceremony honoring the 2019 winners of the Equator Prize. We celebrate innovative efforts of indigenous and local communities using the wisdom and traditional knowledge to secure and improve their livelihoods and local environments. The winners have shown us how indigenous people and local communities are part of the solution of the global efforts to combat climate change and biodiversity loss. The winners do not work in isolation, and their efforts benefit us all. I note that the winners apply modern technologies and link up with global actors and international markets when they find it useful, as we just saw. They show how traditional knowledge and practices can lead the way to a sustainable future. We have a lot to learn from local actors and innovators. The government of Norway has been a proud supporter of the Equator Initiative for 10 years. It is one of our minor contributions in efforts to combat climate change and biodiversity loss, but I'm pleased to say that this is not a minor contribution to the global challenge. Norway's engagement to combat climate change and biodiversity loss amounts to about $700 million per year, of which a large portion is targeting forest degradation and the forest red. When we celebrated the 10 years anniversary of the RED program last year, one of the main results reported was the improved legal status for the indigenous and forest-dependent peoples in many countries. I'm pleased to recognize that the efforts of the 2019 prize winners are well aligned with all these initiatives, giving us opportunities to learn and upscale these local innovations. To all Equator Prize 2019 winners, congratulations again. Thank you for showing us local, innovative, sustainable solutions to the global challenges of climate change and biodiversity loss. Keep on with your good work. Thank you.
All right, guys, so it's time to all of us together now take a very deep breath. Can we do that? Sorry, I wasn't with you. Let's do it again. Now I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Keep them closed.
Now imagine you are 14 years old. You start your life in an era of a planetary crisis. The sea level is rising. The forests are burning. The climate is in crisis. Now open your eyes. Our generation, the youth of today, we are facing challenges other generations, your generations, have never faced it as youth. And science says we have just 10 years to figure it out. If you were 14 today, what would you do? How would you react?
It is our view, as the youth of today, that nature needs a seat at the table. If not now, when? If not us, who? Nature needs a seat at the table. We have inherited the devastations of a climate crisis. don't have more time. We need collective action. We need to be bold. There's no planet B. Mother Nature needs a seat at the table, and she needs it now. As it turns out, a third of the solutions come from her anyway.
How do we know? Because indigenous communities like those here tonight have been marginalized and forced to fight for their land rights. But they also have been teaching us how to work with nature, and instead of fighting it.
My name is Kinan. I am from the indigenous community of Sungai Utik, one of the communities recognized this evening, and I have been born into an era of climate emergency. I come from a small village in the heart of Borneo. Our village is still surrounded by forests. We live in a longhouse next to the Utik River, and in our language, the word Utik means clear or pure, referencing the crystal clear water in our river. Our river is clear because we live by our customary knowledge of nature. We have protected our land from deforestation for hundreds of years. And just like our river, our message to you tonight is also clear.
Indigenous communities have protected nature and the land for thousands of years. We call on the rest of the world to do the same. We call on you, all of you, to use whatever power you have to make that happen.
And in closing, we think it's fitting to share a traditional chant. In my village, this chant calls upon the spirit to bless us on our journey to protect nature. As we share this chant, let us know that our fight is not done. We must all be bold. We must all give nature a seat at the table. Oha! Join me. Oha!
Join us!
Oha!
Thank you so much. That was Paloma Costa, a Brazilian activist who opened the UN Youth Climate Summit yesterday. Carson Kibur is an indigenous rights activist from Kenya. Elisha Ban is an artivist from Fiji. Kinan Tiger is a 14-year-old filmmaker from the indigenous Dayak Iban community who just won the prize. And Sinta O'Connor is an activist and also a member of the indigenous Dayak Iban community. And please give them another round of applause. These are our future elders. Our future elders. Over the last few days, I've heard so much talk about carbon and the survival of humanity and these things. And I find the conversation quite limited. I think we've talked about this kind of thing before, right? 50 years ago, we passed the Clean Air Act, and today the air across the planet is more polluted than ever. And 40 years ago, we passed the Clean Water Act. And today, the plastic in the sea outweighs the fish. Now, I feel the fear of what's coming, but I also know that fear often leads to bad decision-making. And I don't know, I think numbers and fear, and numbers and fear, and numbers and fear. And it's like, I think after tonight, we all feel inspired by our winners, you know, by the love that they feel for their land, for their relatives. And that is the first and the most important lesson that I take away from tonight and all my work with Indigenous elders. It's love. Love is the answer. Love and care and listening, right? More than how will we survive, I feel like an interesting question is, what do we want to become as a species? What do we want to be when we grow up? And even though our ceremony is ending, I really hope that this is the beginning of something, that this is the beginning of new relationship, new possibilities, new hope, a newfound respect for the thousands of years of wisdom that some people on this planet carry, that we have so sadly been amputated from in cultures like this. And I know that together, when we work together in love, we can really make this world a beautiful garden again. So let's work towards that. And now, one of my personal heroes has a message for us on video.
This is not a drill. My name is Greta Thunberg. We are living in the beginning of a mass extinction. Our climate is breaking down. Children like me are giving up their education to protest. But we can still fix this. You can still fix this. To survive, we need to stop burning fossil fuels. But this alone will not be enough. Lots of solutions are talked about. But what about a solution that is right in front of us? I'll let my friend George explain.
There is a magic machine that sucks carbon out of the air, costs very little, and builds itself. It's called a tree. A tree is an example of a natural climate solution. Mangroves, peat bogs, jungles, marshes, seabeds, kelp forests, swamps, coral reefs, they take carbon out of the air and lock it away. Nature is a tool we can use to repair our broken climate. These natural climate solutions could make a massive difference.
Pretty cool, right?
But only if we also leave fossil fuels in the ground.
Here's the crazy part. Right now, we are ignoring them. We spend 1,000 times more on global fossil fuel subsidies than on natural-based solutions.
Natural climate solutions get just 2% of all the money used on tackling climate breakdown.
This is your money. It is your taxes and your savings.
Even more crazy, right now when we need nature the most, we're destroying it faster than ever.
Up to 200 species are going extinct every single day.
Much of the Arctic ice is gone. Most of our wild animals have gone. Much of our soil has gone.
So what should we do?
What should you do?
It's simple. We need to protect, restore, and fund. Protect. Tropical forests are being cut down at the rate of 30 football pitches a minute.
Where nature is doing something vital, we must protect it.
Restore. Much of our planet has been damaged.
But nature can regenerate, and we can help ecosystems bounce back.
Fund.
We need to stop funding things that destroy nature and pay for things that help it.
It is that simple. Protect, restore, fund.
This can happen everywhere. Many people have already begun using natural climate solutions. We need to do it on a massive scale.
You can be part of this.
Vote for people who defend nature.
Share this video. Talk about this.
All around the world, there are amazing movements fighting for nature. Join them.
Everything counts. What you do counts.
And now, to send us off, we have the great privilege of welcoming the magical sounds of Al Sara and the Nuba Tones. Please welcome onto the stage Al Sara.
من أنا لو ما حبيتك واستنيتك من أنا لو ما هتفت في سبيلك رجلي داقت درب في مسيرك من أنا كتمت وكان في لحظة سكون قبل الهبوب وأنا واقفة مستنياك عمال أقول من أنا صدى السؤال زي الرعد بدق من جبل لجبل لما الزمن يلف بكرة ومبارح في ايده والتراب يغطي المدن ردك بس بيكون الفرق ردك بس بيكون الفرق ردك بس بيكون الفرق لمعة النجوم بيبي في السماء حكاية حبي لك جسر من الماضي إلى الآن اسمي على لسانك لمعة النجوم بيبي في السماء حكاية حبي لك جسر من الماضي إلى الآن مهما تحاول ما بتنسى اللي جايك فارق الهوى حبيبي زي البيزورة المنثورة في موسم الجفاف رجي سيولة الشوق ترويها الذكريات حبيبي زي البيزورة المنثورة في موسم الجفاف رجي سيولة الشوق ترويها مهما تحاول ما بتنسى اللي جايك تاريخ الأول زمن رسايل فايدة للأحباب تاريخ الأموال تاريخ الأموال تاريخ الأموال تاريخ الأموال حبيبي زي البيزورة المنثورة في موسم الجفاف رد يسيول الشوق ترويها والذكريات حبيبي زي البيزورة المنثورة في موسم الجفاف رد يسيول الشوق ترويها مهما تحاول ما بتنسى اللي جايك تاريخ الأموال والقمر رسايل فايدة للأحباب المؤمن بالسعادة شال أماني كالدرع يا المناضل للبراءة وتساوي كالأدرع يا وصية في تراثك الجذور سر النمو زي النخيل دعم السحابة إيدك طايلة للشمس يا المؤمن بالسحابة شال أماني كالدرع يا المناضل للبراءة وتساوي مع الظلم الوصية في تراثك الجذور سر النمو زي النخيل دعم السحابة إيدك طايلة للشمس حبيبي 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 خيرك فايد عالبرافقك ضوي درب المستقل خيرك فايد عالبرافقك بتضوي درب المستقل الوصية في تراثك الجذور سر النمو زي النخيل دعم السحابة ايدك طايلة للشمس خيرك فايد عالبرافقك بتضوي درب المستقل خيرك فايد عالبرافقك بتضوي درب المستقل عارف وصولك وده سلاحك عن عيوبك وده جناح وده عيوبك وده سلاحك بتقدم برتم حبيبي 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 تا 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 This next one is called Ayan Taban, Sick and Tired with Love. Ayan Taban, taban, ayan taban. Ayan taban, sagoni bennesa, nerreda ya salam. Ayan taban, sagoni beautiful they are? You know what makes the earth go round is a little bit of rhythm, a little bit of call and response. All of us together, we're gonna practice something together, okay? It's a little communal call and response. If we can all do this together, we can pretty much do anything together. Okay? It's gonna be really easy. We're gonna practice it all together. I'm gonna go, kesa, kesa, kesa. Y'all are gonna go, whoa, kesa. And then we're gonna clap and sing all at the same time. You guys have to be in charge of clapping because they're holding their awards, okay? Okay, Nahid, you're gonna show them where the claps go. Okay, let's do a little show and tell. All right? Kesa, kesa, kesa.
Whoa, kesa.
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 Kesa, kesa, kesa. Kesa, kesa, kesa. Kesa, kesa, kesa. Kesa, kesa, kesa.